Today, we've gathered some really fascinating sources, all pointing towards a way to challenge, maybe even dismantle, that feeling of always running out of time. You know the one?
Oh, yeah, the constant pressure.
Exactly. And these sources, they're drawing on some pretty heavy hitters, quantum physics, neuroscience, to look at this core scarcity block that keeps so many people just hustling, feeling stuck.
That's absolutely right. And our mission here, for you listening, is really to get past the usual time management tips. We want to pull out a framework, something tangible and backed by science.
Yay.
The goal is to help you shift your actual identity away from that, stressed out, time-pressured hustler,
Right.
and into what these sources call the timeless millionaire creator. It sounds grand, but the linchpin, the absolute key, is this idea time is an illusion.
Okay, that's a huge claim. I mean, people listening are probably looking at their calendars, thinking about deadlines, birthdays. It feels very real.
Of course.
So if we zero in on that core scarcity belief the sources identify, it's that panic inside, isn't it? That I'm not getting any younger, I'm running out of time feeling. We need to unpack why that belief, from a physics standpoint, might actually be, well, false.
Let's start with the feeling itself, that panic. Emotionally, physically, it is a primal survival thing, that sense of time slipping away.
Okay.
But in our modern world, it gets hijacked, tangled up with all these limiting beliefs about not having enough, not being enough, and that just throws us into this state of chronic fear, anxiety.
And most of us, we treat that anxiety like it's just in our heads, something to think our way out of, maybe meditate away.
Yeah.
But these sources are saying the impact is deeper.
Much deeper. It's physical. This is where psychoneuroimmunology P&I comes in. When you're constantly stressed, anxious, trying to force things, your brain literally operates differently.
How so?
It gets stuck in a low-frequency, kind of incoherent wave state. Think of the electrical signals being chaotic, jumbled, not flowing smoothly.
Okay, chaotic brain waves. What does that actually do? Like, when I'm trying to work, trying to be creative or solve a problem, what's the real-world effect?
It's pretty devastating for creativity, actually. That prolonged stress physically constricts blood flow and cuts down activity in your prefrontal cortex.
Ah, the CEO part of the brain.
Exactly. That's your hub for the big stuff. Creativity, innovation, long-term planning, making those inspired leaps. And when it's constricted, you get tunnel vision. Literally.
So you can't see the options.
Right. You can't spot that simple, elegant solution that might be staring you in the face. You're just stuck in the weeds.
And because our brain is physically limited like that, we fall back on what we know, which the sources call the Newtonian reality approach.
Precisely. That's the hustle, the grind, trying to push through with sheer effort, physical force. We all have. But it leads to exhaustion, right? Your income feels stuck or unpredictable, and you end up just reinforcing the very scarcity you hate because your brain physically can't access the creative, abundant options. You're cut off from inspiration.
All because the signal you're broadcasting is fear, limitation, not trust or abundance.
Wow.
It's a powerful feedback loop.
Okay, this really highlights the need to break out of that cycle. So, if we want to escape this Newtonian trap, we need that quantum reframe you mentioned. We need to understand why time is supposedly nonlinear. What's the physics behind it?
The foundation is something called the quantum field. You hear different names for it: unified field, maybe the ether in older traditions, even the Akashic records in mysticism.
Right.
But scientifically, think of it as this invisible energy matrix. It connects absolutely everything in reality. It's like a sea of pure potential vibrating at countless different frequencies.
An energy matrix. Okay, so if that field is the bedrock, how do we use it to stop feeling like we're running out of time?
We use a concept called superposition. It's a core principle in quantum mechanics. What it means is, within this quantum field, all possibilities.
All of them.
Yes, all possibilities for your life, past, present, and future, they exist right now, simultaneously.
Whoa, okay, hang on. It means that version of you who's healed, the version who's abundant, the you who's achieved that big goal, that version isn't some future destination you have to grind towards for years.
It exists now.
It exists now as a potential coexisting with the reality you're currently experiencing.
Okay, wait. That sounds almost too simple.
Yeah.
If the abundant me already exists, why am I still struggling? Why do I have to do anything? Why isn't it just here?
That is the absolute key question, and it leads us right to the mechanism physics gives us, the observer effect. If all these potentials exist together, what makes one specific reality solidify, become our reality.
This is where that famous experiment comes in, right? The double slit experiment.
Exactly. It's classic. It goes way back to 1801, but it's fundamental. It showed that tiny bits of matter, like photons of light, behave completely differently depending on whether they're being watched or not.
Yo, so?
When nobody was looking, the photons acted like a wave. They spread out, showed an interference pattern, meaning they seemed to go through both slits at the same time. They were in that state of superposition, multiple possibilities at once.
Okay. Like a wave of potential.
Right. But the instant they put a detector there to observe which slit the photon went through, poof, the wave pattern collapsed.
To stop being a wave.
It snapped into behaving like a particle, a single point. It made just two distinct lines on the screen corresponding to the two slits. The act of observing forced it to choose a reality.
Okay, so the implication for us is that we are the observer.
You got it. Our conscious attention, our emotional state, our deepest beliefs, that combination acts as the observer in the quantum field of our own lives.
So our focus collapses the wave of infinite possibilities into the single reality we actually experience day to day.
Precisely. That's the mechanism.
So if I'm constantly, say, worrying about money, checking my bank balance with that knot in my stomach, my observation is continuously collapsing the wave into more lack.
That's exactly how the sources frame it. The quantum field doesn't really care about your affirmations if your feeling state contradicts them. It's not responding to your wish list.
In response to?
Your state of being. That's the critical term. It's the total signal you're sending out, the combination of your thoughts, your feelings, and the resulting energetic coherence or lack thereof.
Okay, let's make this super practical. If I'm looking in the mirror trying to affirm I am wealthy, but inside I'm feeling anxious about bills, which signal actually lands? Which one does the field hear?
The anxiety signal. Every single time. It's usually the stronger, more dominant frequency. If that deep feeling of not enough is your baseline state,
Then the field just reflects that back.
it organizes circumstances to match that signal. So you get the surprise bill, the client who flakes, the income that feels stuck. You don't manifest what you want on the surface. You manifest what you fundamentally are energetically.
Wow. Okay. This makes that identity shift you mentioned feel, well, crucial, non-negotiable.
It really is.
You have to stop identifying as the person reacting to the clock, the one always chasing, and step into being that quantum creator.
And the sources suggest this shift isn't necessarily slow and gradual. It can be triggered by a single real decision.
What makes a decision real in this context, not just saying it?
Right. It's not just a wish or a preference. It's a deep inner knowing, an internal declaration like, okay, this is who I am now. That old reality, that way of being, door closed.
The commitment.
A deep, energetic commitment. And when you make that kind of decision, the sources say reality literally starts reorganizing around it instantly.
How? What actually happens, like in my brain or out there?
We see basically three mechanisms kick in. First, pretty straightforward. That decision changes your internal chatter. You start accessing different thoughts, new ideas, solutions you couldn't see before start popping up.
Okay, new thoughts, that makes sense. But the second mechanism you mentioned, something about perception changing. The RAS.
Yes, the reticular activating system. Your RAS is like your brain's filter or spotlight. Neuroscience tells us we filter out something like 88% of the sensory data coming at us every second.
88%? What?
It's huge. So that tiny 12% we actually notice, it's tailored to what our brain has tagged as important, relevant, or true for us based on our beliefs and decisions.
So if I decide, truly decide, I am a timeless creator, resources flow to me easily. My RAS literally starts looking for evidence of that.
Exactly. Think about when you decide to buy a specific, maybe slightly unusual car. Let's say a yellow vintage Beetle.
Okay.
Before you decided, you might rarely have noticed one. The moment you commit to getting one, suddenly you see yellow Beetles everywhere.
Yes, that happens.
The cars didn't magically appear. Your internal filter, your RAS, got retuned. So that new decision acts like changing the settings on your perception. You start noticing the money-making idea, the health opportunity, the helpful person that was always there.
But invisible to my old scarcity filter.
Precisely. You're now able to observe it, to collapse the wave function around that possibility because you've decided it's relevant.
So the opportunity isn't just manifesting out of the blue. My ability to see and grab it is amplified.
That's a great way to put it. And the third mechanism is maybe the most magical sounding. It's the idea of manufacturing synchronicities.
Right.
When you establish that new identity as a fixed point, life itself seems to reorganize around that new frequency. resources show up, the right people call. Things just start clicking into place with a sense of momentum, almost like life is conspiring for you.
This is really key, though.
Yeah.
The sources are clear. This isn't about just sitting back and hoping, right? It's not passive.
Absolutely not. It's about aligned action. That's the term they often use, sometimes called guidance in motion.
How is that different from the hustle we talked about?
It flows from a different place. Hustle comes from fear, from trying to force and control the outcome. Aligned action feels more like responding. It flows from trust, from embodying that new identity. It feels inspired, often effortless, because you've already decided the outcome is done.
So you take action, but it's pulled by the future, not pushed by the past fear.
Beautifully put. And to enable that kind of action, to really lock in that new identity, you need to generate the strongest, clearest signal possible.
Which brings us to what the sources call the ultimate quantum hack, quantum gratitude.
Exactly. This practice is designed specifically to create that high-frequency, coherent state aligning your heart and brain, drawing on work by researchers like Dr. Joe Dispenza, so you're broadcasting the most powerful signal to collapse that desired future into your present.
Okay, walk us through it. How do we do this quantum gratitude thing effectively so it's not just making a list?
Right. It's about generating the state. First step, consciously connect with your heart center. Breathe into that space. Your heart generates a huge electromagnetic field, much bigger than the brain's.
Okay, connect to the heart.
Second, set the intention. Clearly visualize or sense that desired future self, the timeless millionaire, the healed you, whatever it is, but see it as already real, existing right now in the quantum field, not as a someday.
Got it. Feel it now.
And the third step is the activator. You generate the feeling of intense, almost shocking gratitude, but not gratitude for it coming, gratitude that it's already done.
Ah, okay. So feel the relief, the peace.
Yes, the relief, the peace, the expansiveness, the feeling of completion, like the deal is signed, the result is in, and you're just enjoying the knowing that it's already yours. That feeling is the signal.
So it's an active process. You're not waiting for time to deliver the goods. You're activating a potential future that's already here by sending the signal. Done. Already have it.
That's the essence of it. And you maintain that feeling state as much as possible, letting reality reorganize around that signal.
That really flips the script. The whole goal isn't about forcing things through sheer will and exhaustion.
No, the goal is internal. It's about tuning your frequency, matching the vibrational signature of the version of you who already has what you desire, because that version already exists in the field.
Once you shift the identity from chasing to being,
Yeah.
the clock just matters less.
It becomes irrelevant to your state of possibility.
A really powerful framework for anyone feeling that time scarcity squeeze. Okay, so if you're listening and your internal clock feels like it's just screaming fear, limitation, not enough time, here's something to really sit with.
Mm-hmm.
What single truly committed decision could you make today? Intellectually, emotionally, energetically. A decision to fully embody that timeless creator identity, knowing, trusting that the quantum field, that reality itself, has no choice but to start reorganizing around that new fixed point you've just created.
Make the decision. Feel the shift.
Decide today, and then watch how your wave collapses.
So when Gina offered me the opportunity to do this, I jumped for it because I think anything that you can do that is going to chip away at these limiting the beliefs, the things that hold you back, is really, really worth doing. So it's been a really lovely experience, and if anybody's a bit worried about it, just do it, because the opportunity to connect through havening is really, really powerful. It's really, really powerful.
But really helpful, I think, in terms of having that kind of guided process just to kind of let the ideas and the feelings and the images flow, and then try and work out what it actually means afterwards, and to come up with, and it made intuitive sense. It's really, really helpful to then kind of have that debrief of, okay, what can we actually do with this stuff? Because that's where we tend to get stuck, is kind of like coming out of it going, oh, this is all some really interesting ideas and thoughts and feelings and images. But yeah, then, you know, how can we actually harness them to do something different? And I think that's been really, really helpful in terms of clarifying really what I need to prioritize to go forward in a way that will deal with some of that stuff that came up.
I would like to point out that I'm actually a therapist myself, and sometimes therapists also need a therapist. So I was really stuck. And then one day, a friend posted a link for Gina's wealth and money attracting short course. And I went, this sounds great. I'm just gonna book it. And I loved it so much. I really had an epiphany on that course. And it was only meant to be a demonstration, and yet it was really, it just opened up possibilities that I was stuck before, and now like, ooh, I can use this to unstuck myself. I'm a great believer that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And you appeared at the right time. That's all there is to it. So, if anybody is watching this video, it means Gina has appeared in your life. So please give it a try.